Okay. We back with another Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint light novel reading. I know y'all missed me. I missed y'all too. This is a great series. And if you want to see my webtoon reaction, because there is a webtoon to this, if you want to see that, go ahead and check it out. I have a playlist for that. So make sure you guys go check out all the playlists that I have. And, go ahead and check out them solo leveling light novel readings. But first things first, if you're new to my channel or for some odd reason you just not subscribed, and I don't know why you wouldn't be subscribed to me. I mean, come on, y'all love webtoons. I love webtoons. Just hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a upload from you. Bye. And make sure you guys hit that like button. And make sure you guys comment down below, because y'all know your boy love talking to y'all in the comment section, okay? I like to respond to almost everybody. But Noti gang, look, y'all getting pretty strong out there. Look, we got 3.2k subs, okay? And we got 1.2k people in Noti gang. Y'all some real ones. I gotta give a shout out to Noti gang, okay? Had to go ahead and throw that in there. And also, link to my Discord is in the description below. Now, I have 2 chapters for you guys for this light novel reading. It's going to be chapters 5 and 6. Now, we're getting closer towards where we are at officially in the webtoon. So I'm glad that I'm kind of even with both of them, because I get the best of both worlds. We know that the light novels give us details and the webtoon gives us the visual effect of everything. So it's always good to look at the webtoons and the light novel. I say the same thing for solo leveling, okay? But enough of all this talking. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. People panicked as they saw the insects running around the carriage. Hey, why would you do such a thing? While some people were staring blankly, the quick-witted pushed towards me. You son of a bitch. You better find them soon. There are only 3 minutes left. These were a signal as people started to look, everyone among the subway seats, like beasts who had lost their mind. I got it. The joy of those fortunate enough to obtain an insect, as well as a malicious attack on them, caused the carriage to become chaotic. Hey, why did you do that? Couldn't you have just given them the insects? Looking back, I saw Kim Namewoo raising his body. I responded cautiously to Kim Namewoo, who was stretching his neck. There are 12 people remaining. Huh? There were 3 insects left in the collecting net. Kim Namewoo frowned for a moment before smiling broadly. 12 to 3? Ha 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 ha. Yes, not all of them can survive anyways, so you threw that thing. Yes? Don't make me laugh. A person with common sense wouldn't do such a thing for that reason. Kim Namewoo's smile widened. Tell me honestly, you just want to see the scene, didn't you? I recall the Kim Namewoo that I knew from Ways of Survival. At this moment, I heard a message in my ears. Exclusive skill, character list is activated. Next, a window opened in front of my eyes. I still didn't exactly know what my attribute was, but I looked at the window in front of me. Character information. Name, Kim Namewoo. Age, 19. Constellation support, none. 2 constellations are currently showing interest in this person. Private attribute, Chu Byon, general. Exclusive skills, unusual adaptability, level 3. Knife fighting, level 1. Blackening, level 1. Overall stats, stamina, level 3. Strength, level 4. Agility, level 6. Magic power, level 4. Overall rating, a Chunbyu who was blackened by a special occasion. It is recommended that you don't get involved with him. Most of the Chunbyu that appeared in Ways of Survival committed suicide because they couldn't endure the nightmare that had become real. However, The Chunbyu before me, Kim Namwoo, was different. He was the delusion demon, Kim Namwoo. The young man, who later became known by his nickname, wasn't an ordinary Chuni. This young man had been waiting for the destruction of the world for a long time and adapted to this world at an unusual speed. Team up with me. How about it? That young man was now making an offer to me. The character, Kim Namwoo, has a favorable impression of you. Your understanding of the character Kim Namwoo has increased. My immediate survival was guaranteed if I held hands with Kim Namwoo. If I hadn't read Ways of Survival, my choice might have been a little different. I'm sorry, but I like to be alone. Really? It is regrettable. Kim Namwoo licked his lips lightly and stood close to me. Then, can you step aside? I have something to do with that old lady behind you. Hearing his words, I looked back to see that the bleeding and collapsed grandmother was barely breathing. What do you want? Do you have to ask? You aren't catching the insects. Insects? Why would I catch that? Kim Namwoo laughed. I already have a caught insect in front of me. I could feel Kim Namwoo's murderous spirit. The character that had only existed in the novel was facing me with vivid madness. Therefore, I felt a little bit in awe. Kim Namwoo was really the person I had imagined. The character, Kim Namwoo, has a slight decrease in favorability. What are you looking at? Aren't you going to move aside quickly? It is tough. What? I won't move aside. Are you now going to initiate the absolute of justice? Do you have multiple personalities? I didn't answer. A dark shadow slowly crept onto Kim Namwoo's face, and his shiny eyes were becoming cold. No, wait a minute. Did you throw the net over there to do this from the beginning? Really? You want to save the grandmother? Ha ha ha. Amazing. Really amazing. No? Yes? I still didn't answer. As I looked closely at this guy, old memories resurfaced. Ah, it turns out that you are the type of person I hate the most. All old bastards are the same. They were memories of all the times I had been frustrated by this brat during Ways of Survival. The character, Kim Namwoo, despises you. What did you say? I considered the timing and lowered my head, avoiding the fist that flew before the words were even over. Oh, not bad. Despite knowing it was coming, I felt a sense of heat from above my head. It wasn't an ordinary punch. Blackening, level 1. A dark aura rose from Kim Namwoo's whole body. This was the exclusive skill of the Chunbyu attribute. It was rare to release a skill before the end of the first scenario, but Kim Namwoo was already showing a skill. There was a reason why the main character had recruited him, despite his psychopath nature. After he hit it, my right shoulder spasmed. There was no way to win if I kept fighting this way. Should I use that now? I was calculating the time when I heard a message. Your understanding of the character, Kim Namwoo, has increased. You are close to the conditions of use of exclusive skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint level 1. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint? What was this? The condition of use for the exclusive skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint level 1, have been reached. Kim Namwoo's fist missed me and struck the ground. Haha, what? Haven't I become stronger? A faint fist mark was left on the ground. Kim Namwoo was realizing his current strength little by little. Quang, quang, quang. The fist that could break a bone with a single blow kept hitting the ground. Kim Namwoo was frustrated and couldn't control his temper. Ah, why can't I hit you? Of course, he couldn't hit me. It was all thanks to my second skill, exclusive skill. Omniscient Reader Viewpoint level 1 has been activated. As soon as the skill was activated, I was able to observe Kim Namwoo's attack directions like I was reading his inner thoughts. For example, like this. Right side. I quickly moved away from the direction of the attack. Right eye. Then I quickly bent down and avoided the flying fist. You really are good at not being hit. It was unreasonable to counterattack because I was poor at sports, but I could at least avoid most of the attacks. Left eye. This was enough to endure it. The important thing was to buy time. I avoided Kim Namu's first fist and pointed at the clock in the air. There are 2 minutes left, kid. The distressed Kim Namu's alternated looking between me and the grandmother. Damn it. At the moment of choice, Kim Namu's gaze was fixed on the grandmother's side. I was forced to grab the grandmother and roll away. If the grandmother died, Kim Namu would clear the scenario. No matter what, I absolutely couldn't send this guy on to the next scenario. Haha, I knew you would move like that. As Kim Namu took something out of his bag, I had an ominous feeling. A blade shone in the fluorescent light. It was a portable MacGyver knife I hadn't forgotten. This person was a die-hard military otaku. There was a link between the technical skill, knife fighting, and strengthening skill, blackening. The direction of that blade was pointing was obvious. Heart. It was an attack that couldn't be avoided even if I knew the direction, so I made a quick judgment. If I couldn't avoid the attack, it was better to be hit somewhere with minimal damage if possible. The blade narrowly missed my heart and made a deep cut on my shoulder. It hurt. It really hurt. There was a searing pain in my skin. My vision shook and it felt like death was approaching. Ha ha ha. Now die. The time remaining to the end of the scenario was 1 minute and 30 seconds. I glanced toward the grandmother. I was sorry for the grandmother, but now I really had to use that. Chungil High School, 2nd year Kim Namu, I have one question for you. What? Do you think an insect egg is a living thing? I took out the body of the grasshopper I had killed earlier from my pocket. The plump egg sac was clearly abundant. There was the sound of something popping, and something fluid spilled out. The disgusting feeling sprayed over my hand as I heard a message. You have killed a living thing. 100 coins have been earned, and as additional compensation. You have killed a living thing. 100 coins have been earned as additional compensation. Multiple messages bombarded my ears. Kim Namu frowned. Insect egg? What are you suddenly saying? Are you trying to waste time? I guess so. How would I know something like that? I was always sleeping in biology class. Kim Namu looked at my bloody shoulder and laughed happily. But there is one thing I know for sure. Do you know what it is? What is it? You will die right now. Kim Namu moved his Swiss knife before I could answer. It was an attack that was hard to avoid. A large number of coins had been acquired. Do you want to check the coin usage tip? I omitted the explanation that entered my ears. There was no need to listen when I already knew the contents. No, it is you who will die. I spat out while inwardly muttering something else. 2,700 coins have been invested into stamina. Stamina level 1 went to stamina level 10. Your stamina level has increased dramatically. The durability of your body has greatly increased. Kim Namu's knife penetrated towards my heart. To be exact, it looked like it was penetrating. My skin was like solid rock, and the only thing that remained on it was a scratch. Kim Namu's eyes showed that he was astonished. How? I'll tell you the correct answer to my question. The answer is, an egg is a living thing. What? And in spawning season, grasshoppers lay more than 100 eggs at a time. Egg, living thing, 100. Unfortunately, the time left to understand the meaning of the information was too short for the schoolboy with a bad brain. What are you saying? It doesn't matter if you don't understand. There is 1 minute left. Now fear appeared on Kim Namu's face. Die. The knife moved towards my neck. I didn't even bother defending against the attack. Was it because the area was more vulnerable than the chest? The wound was a little deeper than before, but it still didn't hurt much. Behind Kim Namu, there were people who were still crawling and looking for insects, as well as those who were willing to hurt each other for their own survival. You are right. I am the same type of human as you. Maybe I could have saved some of those people. Shit. Why won't you die? Why won't you just die? 55 seconds, 50 seconds, 45 seconds. The knife kept leaving only scratches. Blood flowed, but the blade couldn't reach under the skin. There were 30 seconds left when Kim Namhoo opened his mouth. He dropped the knife and knelt before me. Save me. 25 seconds. Save me. Please help me. Why should I? 20 seconds. People's lives are important. That's obvious. That is the rule of the old world. It is just as you said. A new world requires new laws. 10 seconds. I don't want to die. 5 seconds. Kim Namhoo ran at me with a loud scream and aimed for my eye. The moment that knife tried to dig at my retina, the given time has run out. There was a loud sound and Kim Namhoo's head exploded. Paid settlement will begin. Beginning with Kim Namhoo, people's heads started exploding everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. The bursting heads were like fireworks announcing a new era. I watched the scene with a bit of joy, a bit of guilt, and a mysterious feeling. Why? Why was I so calm at the sight in front of me? It was like I was looking at a novel. You have killed 124 living things. Kill history. 1 grasshopper, 123 grasshopper eggs. You have killed non-resistant living things, so the number of coins you have acquired is reduced by half. 6,200 coins have been acquired. The number of coins used for the stats level up is automatically subtracted. You have a total of 3,500 coins. The mass murderer achievement has been gained through excessive killing. My face could be seen on the darkened window of the carriage. It was a face I had never seen before. Despite looking into the mirror countless times in my life, I wiped at the blood on my cheeks. The blood wasn't erased. It turned out to be blood on the window. There was a lurking feeling, and the train started to move again. It made the familiar train noise. Soon, light flooded in, and darkness was lifted from the windows. We had arrived at the surface ground section of Line 3 between Apgujeong and Oksu. Outside the window, the Han River and Seoul were revealed. Someone let out a moan. It was a moan which contained deep relief that they survived. However, it didn't take long for the meaning of that moan to change. The landscape outside the window was no longer the Seoul that they knew. Smoke and dust rose from the ruined city. The Han River bridges had collapsed. The Han River itself was red with bodies of soldiers. While among the fallen buildings, a monster was trampling on the K1 tank like it was a toy. Main scenario number 1, proof of value has ended. 300 coins have been acquired as a basic clearance reward. 100 coins have been reduced for the channel usage fee. Additional compensation, settlement will begin. One world was destroyed and a new one was born. And I was the only reader who knew the ending of this world. That was the end of chapter 5. I hope you guys enjoyed chapter 5. We're going to go ahead and get straight into chapter 6. That was a pretty good chapter. If you want to hear my actual reaction, make sure you guys check out my webtoon reaction to the actual webtoon for this. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into chapter 6. Chapter 6, episode 2, protagonist. The subway stopped around halfway past Dongho Bridge. Oh my God. Several survivors stood up and looked at the scene taking place outside. The ruined Seoul and collapsed buildings, monsters reminiscent of a giant snake, were eating the wreckage of a fighter jet that had crashed into the Han River. What the hell? I recognized their identity at once. An Ichthyosaur, a monster that was commonly called a sea serpent. It would later be classified as a grade 7 monster in the world of Ways of Survival. One of the Ichthyosaurs looked in this direction. What? Is it coming? People screamed with fright. But I just looked apathically at the approaching Ichthyosaur. These guys couldn't be a threat. The Ichthyosaur circled around the bottom of Dongho Bridge and vanished into an air bubble. In the world of Ways of Survival, scenarios took precedence over anything else. As long as we were protected by the scenario, we wouldn't have to deal with such monsters straight away, at least for now. Compensation settlement is delayed due to an unexpected scenario check. Please wait. The compensation settlement should have started right now, but only an error message floated in the air. It was probably due to me. I looked down at Kim Namhoo's body, which only had the torso remaining. According to the original ways of survival, Kim Namhoo killed most of the people in this carriage and moved on to the next scenario. But I stopped it. If my thoughts were right, those who would be angry at Kim Namhoo's death would appear here, not here. They were in the sky above. Due to the death of a character, Kim Namhoo, 2 constellations show a faint hostility to you. Constellations, they were mysterious beings in ways of survival. They sat watching from the distant nebulas and were the masterminds of the tragedy. Once the constellation preferences sign appeared, I realized that it was now staring in earnest. It was funny. A day ago, our positions were opposite. Now, they were the ones watching me. A handful of constellations admire your scenario. The constellations have sponsored you 500 coins. If there were some constellation who disliked me, there would also be some who liked me. Either way, it was an uncomfortable situation. However, I couldn't do anything about them right now. It was my turn to be a clown. I picked up Kim Namhoo's Swiss knife on the ground and thought, feel free to watch. You will end up paying the admission fee with your lives. Dokajasi, are you okay? I looked up and saw Yosaga's face. Her shoulders were sagging. Blood covered her white blouse, and there was a run in her stockings. There was no more of the Yosaga I knew. I held Yosaga's hand and said, I'm sorry. I couldn't save the grandmother. I looked down at the body of the grandmother, missing its head. I didn't know the name of the grandmother in the future. Many people would die in this manner. Yosaga looked at me with a complicated gaze. How is Dokajasi? So, yes. It is nothing. Rather, thank you. What do you mean? That I blatantly thought back to the previous scene. I had thrown the net in Yosaga's direction. I knew what she was thinking. It was just a coincidence. It won't happen twice. Yosaga nodded silently. She didn't know the truth, but she was smart. She knew what I meant. Someone lived because of my choice, and someone else died. No matter who survived, I didn't deserve a thank you. Wow, amazing. The dock bee appeared in the air. What on earth happened here? I was just watching the other carriages. There was a mixture of delight and surprise on the dock bee's face. Twinkling stars floated over the dock bee's head. I counted the number of stars. 1, 2, 3. 20, 21, 21 in total. He would be happy for 21 people to be connected to my channel. Haha, isn't this quite good? Gosh, thank you for your sponsorship. Constellations, haha, everyone. Did you properly show off your value? The number of stars meant the number of constellations connected to the channel. 21 wasn't a lot, but it was a strange number for a beginner dock bee. The number of survivors is quite high. The fellow in the next carriage was a nutter as well. It seems that things are quite interesting today. The dock bee manipulated something in the air. A moment later, a list of survivors came up. Survivors from 3434 train to Bolg Wang, carriage 3807, Kim Dokja, Lee Hyung-sung, Yo Saga, Han Mayongo, and Lee Gil-young. A total of 5 survivors. 5 people. More people than I thought survived. I looked at the faces of the survivors one by one. Lee Hyung-sung had a good physique and excellent motor skills, so it was expected that he would survive. I even expected Yo Saga to a certain extent. In addition, Lee Gil-sung, if my guess was right, Lee Gil-sung was the name of the boy standing next to me. The fluids from the crushed grasshoppers was still in the boy's hand. It was the grasshopper I had squeezed. The boy was looking at his mother, who lost her head. The boy's mother had abandoned him to join in on the killing of the grandmother. The boy had just watched the whole thing from the beginning to end. I hesitated for a moment before touching the boy's shoulder. It wasn't foolish sympathy. To put it simple, that's right, hypocrisy. Kid. The boy slowly turned his head and his eyes. I could see the fear of death that he encountered for the first time in his life. Unavoidable instincts. This boy wasn't grieving his mother's death. He was just afraid of his own death. It was natural. He was human. Do you want to live? The boy's eyes shook anxiously. His body trembled with a force that couldn't be resisted. Then, little by little, the boy's head moved. Then, let's go together. Lee Gil-young moved slowly and came close to my legs. Yosaga was watching me with an impressed expression. I unintentionally caused another misunderstanding. In fact, it was meant to be seen, but the target wasn't Yosaga. A few constellations are impressed with your good deed. Constellations have sponsored you 200 coins. I couldn't help thinking that it was a low move, but I also wanted to live. Given the upcoming major events, it was essential to draw the attention of the constellations right now. Will you release us now? Didn't you get what you wanted? Han Myungo, in a torn shirt, shouted from half a dozen steps away. Department head Han Myungo. He was a lucky human, but I couldn't help wondering, why was Han Myungo riding the subway when he had so much money? This was the man who had shown off a new S-Class Mercedes-Benz not long ago. Released? Haven't you seen outside? Do you really want to go out there? The Docby chuckled. It is somehow admirable, in fact. I didn't expect much from the carriage, but you managed to pass the first scenario. This proves that bugs deserve to survive. His words made us realize our position. Maybe we were like grasshoppers in his eyes. Now, shouldn't there have been a reward for overcoming the hardships? As a reward for the first scenario, you are entitled to the sponsorship of the constellations. What? How about it? Aren't you looking forward to it? You are all unenthusiastic. This is really big deal. The reaction was natural. I was the one here who knew what constellations or sponsorships was. The sponsorships of the constellations, the meaning was obvious. One of the key events of Ways of Survival, sponsor selection, was about to begin. Everyone had confused expressions. I can easily tell right now, you are incredibly weak. If you are thrown into the scenario that will take place, you will be killed when you meet the weak ground rat, let alone a crook. But kindly, there are some great people in the universe who pity you and would like to sponsor you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Lee Hyung-sung finally couldn't stand it anymore and opened his mouth. What are you saying? Who is sponsoring whom? My words are just entering dirty ears. Isn't there an old saying in South Korea, it is better to see it once than listen 100 times? So experience it directly. Well, the less fortunate ones might not get the chance. Ha 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 ha. I was tense. From now on, a good choice here would make my survival in the future easier. Dokajasi, two strange choices suddenly appeared in front of me. I don't know, even if you ask me. This was naturally a lie to avoid suspicion. By the way, there were two choices. Yosaga was quite lucky. Do it comfortably. Think of it as an aptitude test. Aptitude test? Nobody knows what the situation is anyways. Why do it comfortably? I understand. Yosaga closed her mouth and started staring into space. It was a profound expression, as if she had encountered something curious. The others suddenly became silent. Everyone was reading the options in front of them. I also had my own choices to look at. Sponsor selection. Please select your sponsor. Your chosen sponsor will be your strong supporter. 1. Abyssal Black Flame Dragon. 2. Demon-like Judge of Fire. 3. Secretive Plotter. 4. Prisoner of the Golden Headband. There were 4 choices like a riddle. It meant there were 4 constellations that wanted to turn me into their incarnations. 4 choices. Wasn't small considering that the protagonists of Ways of Survival received 5 options the first time. The constellations never revealed their true name. Therefore, all contractors must infer the identity of the constellation by words such as abyssal, demonic, and garden. Of course, this puzzle was nothing to me, the sole reader of Ways of Survival. Let's see. First, the Abyssal Flame Dragon. According to my memory, this constellation was a powerful entity that led the group of constellations called the Black Cloud. I forgot his real name, but I remember it was very long name. The advantage of this constellation was that the contractor could receive a very strong attack power in early days when stamina and strength were in urgent need. There was no constellation as strong as the Abyssal Dark Flame Dragon. Of course, that was limited to the beginning. As the power of this constellation was more frequently used, the mind became corrupted and the corruptor would become a mad murderer. This constellation usually sponsored the people with the Chuni attribute. I didn't know why the constellation picked me. I felt uncomfortable and excluded this guy. The second one, the demon-like Judge of Fire. I can't believe I was actually seeing this option. Somehow, the strong emotions I felt were enormous. At first glance, the name was overflowing with evil, but this was actually a trap for the wicked. The demon-like actually meant not a demon. Then the words fire and judge were added. A being who wasn't a demon and who made judgments through fire. Paradoxically, the masters of this constellation was an angel. If I recalled corrected, it was the Archangel Uriel. In fact, I remembered this because someone in the novel picked this constellation as a sponsor. It was a pretty decent choice. This was pending. The constellation of absolute good imposed ridiculous constraints if you wanted to use their enormous power. The third, Secretive Plotter. It was the first time that I, the sole reader of Ways of Survival, had seen this choice. This name might have been mentioned in passing, but I didn't know it right now. If I could read Ways of Survival more thoroughly, then I might get the feel of the constellation. But I was certain that the owner of this constellation wasn't a very strong entity. Apart from the obvious modifier, there wasn't one proper noun, Secretive Plotter. It was too simple for a constellation. This one was also pending. Finally, there was Prisoner of the Golden Headband. My heart jumped the moment I saw the 4th option. I didn't expect this constellation so early. I doubted my eyes several times, but it was unmistakably Prisoner of the Golden Headband. At first glance, this name gave off a negative image due to the word prisoner, but you have to pay attention to Golden Headband. Golden Headband, the smallest prison in the world. It was a hint that anyone would recognize if they enjoyed reading Journey to the West as a child. There was only one prisoner who was held captive by the Golden Headband in the journey from east to west, the master of the mountain of flowers and fruit, who lived in suffering due to shackle on his head. The handsome monkey king with the golden gaze, fury eyes. The great sage of the equal of heaven, Sun Wukong. Among the characters that appeared in the novel, there was one supported by Sun Wukong, a wondrous power that could sweep through hundreds of incarnations and kill thoughts with one lightning strike. The author had described this part with a lot of energy, so my memory of it was clear. I didn't know why such a powerful constellation was showing me interest, but if I became the incarnation of the great sage of the equal of heaven, I would be able to survive in the new world more easily than anyone else. But I quickly looked at the door connected to the carriage in front. Beyond that door, he was looking at the selection screen like me. If I chose the great sage of the equal of heaven, could I win against him? There is 1 minute left to complete the sponsor selection. Time was running out. I breathed lightly and looked through my options. My worries didn't last long. That's the end of chapter 6 right there, and that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, these 2 chapters. It was pretty interesting. Like I said, This is stuff that we've already gone through when we did our webtoon reaction to this series. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out that. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's try and get this video to 60 likes for the next one. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.